Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. We're going to be talking about email campaigns. So we'll give just a few more seconds for everyone to file in. But in the meantime, if you want to tell us where you're from in the chat, and also tell us what your experience is so far with email campaigns. Have you used them before, or are you just getting started out? Like, what's your experience? Hi, Karen. Karen is going to show as me. So I am not in the chat. Karen's in the chat. So if you see me typing, it's not me. But so we have one person from North Georgia and two people from Texas. Anybody else? I am in Charleston, South Carolina. So it's hot here. But pretty, but hot. Okay, you've used MailChimp. You're looking for something similar. Sounds good. San Diego, very nice there. New Jersey, San Francisco. All right. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started because we actually have a lot today. So our usual start to things, we have some upcoming webinars. On the 7th, we're going to be doing one on doing print sales through partner labs, so through some of our pro labs. So if you're interested in learning more about that. And then on the 14th, we're going to have a webinar about packages. That one's really fun. Hello, Jennifer. Okay, several people who've used MailChimp. And then our usual housekeeping spiel. Please pause any extra browser tabs, pause any streaming services, anything that's going to, eat into the bandwidth a little. Feel free to chat with each other and us in the chat. But if you have specific questions, if you could put them in the Q&A tab, it just makes it easier for us to spot that those are questions so that we can make sure that we're answering all of them. And let's get started. So on the agenda today, what are email campaigns and why you should use them? Then we're going to go over some writing tips from a shoot-proof copywriter. Then we're going to go over how to use custom trigger-based campaigns, and then custom date-based campaigns, and then shoot-proof curated campaigns. So it's going to be a fairly demo-heavy in the end, but we're going to talk a lot about getting set up beforehand. So what is an email campaign? Email campaigns are groups of emails that are sent automatically when a certain trigger occurs. So these triggers can be based on dates. So we can have date-specific ones. I want an email to send on the 15th. Or they can be gallery-specific dates, which are some of those dates that you set up in your gallery settings. So things like the shoot date and the expiration date. And then those emails can be targeted to different types of visitors. So that's based on actions that the visitors have taken in the gallery. So we can send it to people who've favorited images, or people who have items in their cart, or people who haven't placed an order yet. You can also send them specifically to your linked contact for the gallery. So why use them? We ran some numbers and we found that galleries with email campaigns attached receive almost 3 times as many orders as those without. I believe the specific number was 187%. And then we just have some testimonials from some users saying, from Brian Striegler, additional 500 to 4,000 in print sales per gallery. I like this part where he said people don't mind being reminded, which I agree with. You know, we have so many emails and things that we have to pay attention to nowadays. I think people like a little reminder about their gallery and about, that it's going to expire. They need to download all of that. The Younggren said similar. Last year, they generated 5,000 in additional print sale revenue. And it just makes it easier for you to keep in contact with your client, right? You can set up these emails and they're going to send at these certain dates, and you don't have to worry about remembering for each gallery to go and write an email and send it on a certain date. So it is important that we plan out our email campaigns. So here's just some of the things that we want to consider before we get started on them. We want to know how many emails that you'll send. And why are you sending each email? Is it going to be, just reminding them of the expiration date, or just like a nice touch point saying, hi, I hope you love your pictures, or reminding people to download? Then you'll decide what is the content of each email, when will each email be sent, and then who will receive each email. So once you have your emails planned out and kind of an idea of what it is that you want to say, then you can decide what type of email campaign that you want to do. So the first type is a custom trigger-based email campaign. And these are going to be based on those triggers that are within the gallery. So these are good if you have certain, types of photography that you do that you keep the gallery up for, 2 months. And then you can schedule emails throughout that 2 months, and then you can just apply it to every gallery like that going forward. So you can set them around the shoot date. So that date which is the date that it defaults to when you upload the gallery. You can change that, obviously. The expiration date. We also, in the gallery settings, have an order due date, which is actually just an arbitrary date that you can use to set up these emails. So if you do want everybody's orders by a certain date, you can set that due date and do custom trigger-based emails around that. With this one, I say that it's always best if you pick one type of trigger to set all the emails based around, just to make it easier. So if you're going to do, the order due date, you can do X days before the order due date and then X days after the order due date. So you're just operating around one date. But these are just a great way to set up these consistent touch points through the gallery lifecycle. Custom date-based campaigns are the ones where we're going to pick that specific date. So say you want to send an email out to everybody on, August 5th. You can pick that date and then set an email for that. And then if you need to set more dates, you can do that as well. These are good for running sales, stuff around the holidays, if you know anniversaries, like things like that, where it has a set date that you know that you're going to want to operate around, as opposed to trying to make all of your galleries have similar trigger dates. And then last, we have shoot-proof curated email campaigns. These are email campaigns that we've already put together for you. They're mostly trigger-based campaigns. So you can set them for, again, we have them all based on different genres. So we have a wedding one and a newborn one and all of that. They come with pre-made email templates and actually with pre-made trigger dates already set, but they're fully customizable. So you can edit those emails. You can change the dates if you'd like, all of that, but they're just a really good jumping off point if you don't know, quite what you want to do, or you don't have the emails planned or any of that. You can start with these. And then you can also, once you make those templates are in those accounts, or you're in your account. So you can put those templates, on other email campaigns if you'd like. All right. And then now that we know what type of email campaign that we want to do, we can talk a little bit about templates. So there are a bunch of different template types within your account. Those templates are different for different areas of your account. So you want to make sure that you're using the correct type of template when you're setting up your email campaigns. So here's this list that you have. I believe I put this in the handout. If not, we can get it to anybody afterwards if they need it, of the different types of email templates that you can set up in your email campaigns. We also have invoice campaigns. We're not going to talk about those as much, but if you do want to do an invoice campaign, those are the two types of invoice emails that you can use with it. And then I always want to point this out. With this gallery released to visitors, people get confused about this a lot. That has to do with if you have a gallery set up in pre-release. So if you don't have a gallery set up in pre-release, you don't want to use that type of email. Just a little warning. All right. And now we're going to talk a little bit about writing emails. We have some tips from one of our copywriters. So just some basic rules. All of this, you probably already kind of know because it's a little bit common sense, but we're going to go through them. First, we're going to write a clear subject line. I mentioned again that we're all We all get so many emails and texts and all sorts of stuff. So you don't want to write anything ambiguous. You want to tell your client kind of exactly what it is that you're going to be going over in this email. So here is your payment link, fun wardrobe tips, your gallery's ready, your shoot is upcoming, all of that. You want to be straightforward so they know exactly what it is that they're looking for in there. This is my favorite because I know that I can be guilty of this. Editing is your friend. Don't write a novel. We want to keep our emails short and to the point. You need a kind greeting, a quick intro, a few necessary details, and a warm sign-off. We know that, again, everybody's getting lots of emails, lots of communication, so we want to get them the important information that they need as quickly as possible. We don't want them to have to scan through a bunch of information that might not be necessary for them. Next, we want to pay attention to our tone, right? We're writing emails, we're not talking in person. It's very hard to, tell someone's tone a lot of times in email. So we kind of have to almost overdo it a little bit, right? They can't hear your voice, they can't see your face, they can't see your expression. So we want to make sure that what you've said doesn't accidentally read as like dry or uninterested. So in our little GIF here, we have an example of what not to do. This is pretty short. Hey, your balance is due. Here's a link to pay. It's kind of hard to read any sort of friendliness in that. Here's the second one. Hi, Monica. Just a quick reminder that you can pay today's balance here. I can't wait for your session this week. That one's already more personable. We're calling the client by their name. We're expressing excitement to be working with them. It's still short and sweet and getting them the information, but it's not as dry and flat as that previous one. This one kind of relates to our one about not writing a novel. Actually, you want to organize your email text. So if you have information that you need to share and that you really need them to pay attention to, formatting is your friend. So you can bold things, right? This part says your session detail is bolded. It has the time, the address, all of that bulleted out. So your eyes kind of immediately go to that. So this way, again, you're getting them the information that they need, but you're not making them work for it. And similar to the other one, don't force your clients to hunt down your contact info. So you should have in your email signature, your name and your brand name, your phone number, your website, any necessary information that you need for them to get in contact with you should be easy for them to find. And then just overall, we need to remember that email is not a replacement for real human contact. We want your emails to enhance the personal relationship that you have with each client, but not totally replace it. So we want to be genuine and listen and be kind in every interaction. All right, I'll take a quick break to look at the chat. All right, a lot of MailChimp users. I have not used MailChimp in a while, so I'm not very familiar with it at this point. All right, and now we're going to talk about our custom trigger-based email campaigns. It really is a mouthful, lots of hyphens. So these are the types of triggers that we can use for these types of campaigns. So you can do before the gallery expires, before or after the order due date, after the shoot date, and after the gallery release. Again, reminder that the gallery release means if you're using pre-release. So if you have a pre-release set with a specific pre-release date, that's what the release is. It's not after you put up your gallery. That would actually be the shoot date. So if you just want it based on when you uploaded your gallery, you're going to want to base it around your shoot date. And then for invoice campaigns, those are going to be based on before or after the final invoice payment is due. Paula, email campaigns are going to be based around your galleries. So there's not going to be a way for you really to just kind of send an email blast, but you can do it based around certain galleries and their dates. I see that Karen responded to you. Also, it's really confusing because it says my name, and I was like, I didn't type that out. So here is an example of just a life cycle. So if you have, again, you know that you always leave your wedding galleries up for 8 weeks. You can set your custom trigger based one around, spacing those emails out within those 8 weeks. So this is just an example that we came up with. Obviously, this is going to depend on your workflow, what it is, if you use expiration, how long you keep your galleries up, all of that. But this is just an example that we use. So the most important thing is that we need gallery visitors for our emails to go to people, right? So we need to start with sending the gallery link to people. And then we typically recommend that you wait about a week so that you can get those gallery visitors in so you can send them emails. So we're going to send the gallery link. Then that first email we're going to send about 7 weeks before the expiration. So a week into the gallery being live and 7 weeks before it expires. And we're going to send this one to all of the gallery visitors. Then the second one is 4 weeks before the expiration. So halfway through, the gallery's been up for 4 weeks. It's going to go down on another 4 weeks. So maybe this one we send to just all visitors who haven't placed an order yet. And then for the third one, we're sending one a week before expiration to visitors who have items in their cart, right? We're just trying to get them over the finish line to go ahead and place those orders. And then the last one is going to be one date before expiration to all gallery visitors. So again, depending on your workflow, depending on if you have a price sheet or maybe they have digitals and you want them to remember to go ahead and download all the digitals that they want before it expires. So we're going to send that one to every visitor to the gallery. And again, we based it all around that gallery expiration date instead of doing like a hybrid of, the shoot date in this. I do recommend it's generally easier to go ahead and just pick one date to set it around. And then this is just another example, a little bit shorter. This is a portrait gallery. So this one's only going to be up for a few days. Maybe you're having a sale or you do free shipping for this gallery. So you want to email all the gallery visitors saying you have free shipping. Then a week before it expires, to those who haven't placed an order, reminding them that they get free shipping. And then a day before expiration, just reminding everybody the gallery is about to expire and, to use that free shipping while they can. So let's go into my demo account so that we can look at what it is that you'd want to do to set one of these up. All right. So in our galleries, or our account rather, we're going to go down here to Studio and we're going to go to Email. So the first tab is our email activity. The second tab is our templates. And so that you didn't have to watch me try and type out emails, I did go ahead and make templates for this one. And then actually it does, or you have these drop downs where it organizes the templates that are being used in campaigns. So here are all of these. I will make a new template really quick so that we can see it. The template name is internal. So I recommend naming it something that helps you to remember this when making your email templates. So if you notice here, I have labeled them. Hey, it's this portrait one, 2 week reminder, 1 week reminder. I even put the type of visitor that we're sending these emails to. So we already have them, but we'll just see. I can't spell at all when, when I know I'm in front of people. Okay. So when you're making a template, we'll start with these template types. I have a little tip here that leads you to an article that shows you exactly what templates go where. So if you need a reminder, you can use that. But for this one, we're just going to go ahead and use a gallery visitor message. That one's always safe. Again, I'm not going to type out because I don't want you guys to have to watch me type things out. You'll enter your subject, your headline here, this button here. You can change the text if you want it. It is going to go to open the gallery though. And then you can type this email body here. We have formatting. You also have these variables. These will pull information that's in your account. So if you do your brand name, it's automatically going to put your brand name in. if you have an expiration date and you want them to see how many days are remaining, all of that. So we don't need to make this because we already have them ready. And now that we have our email template set up, we can go to campaigns and we can make an email campaign. So we're going to start with our custom trigger based one. We'll name it portrait. And we'll click next. So now you're going to select those templates. We can search from the ones that we already made. So we're actually going to start with our 2-week reminder as our first one. And let me see. I wrote it out, but I don't have it. So for this one, we're doing 14 days before the gallery expiration. So we're going to go down here to before the gallery expiration. We're going to do 14 days. And then we can choose what type of recipient that we want it to have. For this one, we're going to do all visitors. But you can do all visitors with favorites, those with items in their carts, those who have or have not placed an order, or you can specifically just set them up to send to the linked contact. We're going to start with all visitors. If you want to receive a copy of all of these emails that are going out, you can click this, but be warned, it's going to copy you on every one that it sends. So if your gallery has 50 visitors, you're going to get 50 emails that went to your visitors. So then we'll click Create Campaign. And we'll see it set up here. We can add another email. So the next one is going to be our 7 days. We'll do the same trigger type, days before gallery expiration, 7. This one is just going to be to people who haven't placed an order. And then we can add another one. So you can see that once you have it set up, it's pretty easy to go ahead and kind of get them in order. This is our 1-day reminder. We're going to do 1 day before the expiration date. And again, we're going to send that one to everyone. So now you can see those all set up. Once you have it assigned to galleries, it'll show you how many galleries you have it assigned to. If you want to look at specifically these emails that are in it, you can click this review emails button and it'll bring you to the little list so that you can look at those if you want to make any edits. And then over here, this is your send time. So you can select whatever send time you want. It'll show you any that are scheduled to be sent that day during that send time. I do like to warn with the send time, it cycles through. So it's not going to be that all of your emails immediately send at 12. They're going to kind of cycle through. So if it's a long list, they're going to send from essentially like 12 to 1. So if you go into your account and you don't see any emails sent right at 12 p.m., don't worry. They're going to kind of start going out. They're going to, I don't want to say trickle because it's faster than that, but it's not going to be an immediate at noon thing. And so there you go. You have a custom trigger-based campaign, and we can assign it to your galleries here. All right, let me take a little break because I think that there's a question. Oh, Karen got it. All right. Next are our custom date-based email campaigns. So these are going to be the ones that send on a specific date. Again, these are great for around the holidays, birthdays, anniversary. I think the example I always use is like going into Black Friday, right? Because you can set those specific dates. And also if you're doing stuff around the holidays, setting them around when the like lab cutoff dates are, this is much easier than doing those trigger-based ones. So our usual example, again, going into the holidays. So maybe we're leading up to Black Friday. We're doing a couple of things. We're announcing that there's going to be a sale going on during that time. So on the 1st, we're going to tell everybody that there's a sale on orders over $100. Then 10 days later, we're going to remind everybody, those who haven't placed an order, free shipping on orders over $100. Then it's Black Friday. Around then, we're going to announce a Black Friday 20% off sale. And then again, a reminder saying, hey, the sale's coming to an end soon. Go ahead and get those orders in. And then this last one is going to be to everybody, reminding them that they have that free shipping, and then reminding them of that holiday order deadline. So for this one, you could set, instead of an expiration date, you could set it, or never mind, wrong type. But you could also do a trigger-based one with this where you set it around your order due date. But for this one, we're doing those specific dates leading up to Black Friday. So this one, again, it's going to be pretty similar of a setup for these date-based ones. You're just going to do new email campaign. You're going to pick the date-based one, give it a name, and then instead of having those like countdowns, we're going to, well, I don't have an email set up for this one, but we're just going to pick that specific date. So obviously you have to pick dates in the future, set those up, set up the recipients. So it's pretty much the exact same setup as the other ones, except for that specific date instead of having to do those countdowns. So I have one down here already set up. Well, I deleted it. Sorry. So instead of it right here, we'll make one again really quick. It just says that trigger date. And now with your past ones, it'll show that the trigger date is, redded out. So if you have ones from like a previous sale, you can't apply that to anybody else because those dates have passed. So you'll just need to delete and make a new one. All right. You'd like to be able to set times by the campaign. So you want specific times for like each type of campaign that you have. I can totally see why that would be useful. I will pass that feedback along. There's no way to send an email campaign to a batch of clients for upcoming promotions. You could with that. It would all be based around your gallery visitors. So no, there's not a specific way to send to a, like a group or a list that you've made. Unfortunately, we're not really like a full email server. All of the campaigns are based around kind of gallery activity and then also invoice activity. And then last are going to be these shoot-proof curated email campaigns. So we made these because we got a lot of requests from people saying that they weren't comfortable or they didn't know what to write in their emails. So we came up with something that was kind of generic enough that everyone could use it, but also it leaves a lot of room for you to add your own voice and tone to it. So these are ready to use and they're built for specific genres of photography. But if you use them, I always recommend that you make sure that you read over them and make any edits that you want to them and kind of insert a little bit of your voice in there. When you make one of these, we go ahead and just make those templates and put them in your templates list. We also give you a email gallery link, so the link that you can use to go ahead and send your clients to the gallery for the first time to kind of keep thematically with the rest of the emails. So most of these are trigger-based. We do have a date-based one that we add in during the holidays, though. So for these, again, it's going to be very similar, except for that we're going to kind of do all of it for you. So you have these wedding, portrait, newborn, all of these. The holiday email campaign is going to be updated going into the holidays with the dates for 2025. But we can just do a newborn campaign. And it goes ahead and it gives you the breakdown of exactly when these are going to send and based around what trigger type. So again, you can go in, you can edit all of these emails, you can edit the dates around it. So if you don't want it to be 14 days, maybe your newborn galleries are up for longer than that, you can adjust all of that after you've clicked create. So here's this newborn one. And then again, if you want to make any changes to it, we can just go in here, change all of this information. It's the same as when we set it up. And then we have this assign to gallery button where you can do it on the page, but it is a little bit easier to do it kind of on the gallery level. So you can come in and select galleries that you want, and then go over here to your bulk actions. And then it's in the advanced settings, so you can select from your email campaigns down here. And then also you can do it in the actual settings for the gallery. And you can also set it up in your presets. So if you have presets for certain genres, or you just know that you always want this email campaign set for all of your galleries, you can go into your presets. It's down here in your advanced, toggle on send email campaign, and then you can choose which one that you would like to send. All right. So I always like to end with our resource library. This is also a handout in the handouts tab. We have several handouts in the handouts tab, so make sure to grab those. But this is just a great list of all the places that you can go to get help with ShootProof. I'll leave this up for a second, but remember to download it, and then I'm going to take a look at the chat. I think, sorry, I'm scrolling back up a little bit. Michaela, you said you want to email people who have favorites in the gallery. I believe that's one of the trigger types. Give me just a second. It is. You can email just visitors who have favorites. An email campaign for upcoming sessions, like for booking, that's a good idea too. We will definitely pass that along. Okay, sorry, I'm just catching up. Teresa, these will be in the email that you receive later, and if you don't get that, you can shoot us an email at Advanced@ShootProof, and we can get that sent to you. All right, and then it looks like we've had them answered in the chat. And then just some reminders at the end. You can always sign up for upcoming webinars at shootproof.com/events. Our previous webinars are on demand at our help center, so help.shootproof.com. And we also love your feedback about, things that you want webinars on or new topics to talk about, all of that. So you said, I want to let me write my email, use a template, pick a send time, pick the gallery. So you want them to be more customizable almost to the gallery itself. Linda, that is kind of totally up to you. We have, so many different workflows with it. I would actually maybe reach out to we have our community group on Facebook. I would be interested to see what people say there with how long they keep up their galleries. But yeah, I will leave this up for a few minutes. So if anybody else has any questions, and if not, thank you guys so much for coming, and I hope to see you at a future webinar. Yeah, lots of great questions. And Guy, I totally get that. I will pass that along. I can see why that would be, helpful and for you to be able to just specifically set up each type of email campaign. Thank you, guys. All right. Everybody have a nice day. Thank you so much for coming. Guy, I totally get it. I'm glad this helped.